Good afternoon, Catherine.
Good afternoon, Christopher.
How are you doing?
So much better with these glasses.
Yeah, these are going to last for a little while here, but...
I've decided to force a rosy view of the year.
Okay, all right. Yeah,
2021.
yeah. Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Future's so bright I gotta wear shades.
Okay. Good afternoon, everybody. It is Friday afternoon. It is On the Couch with Katherine and Christopher, the Friday afternoon bourbon edition.
Yes, a very
Right?
important part. Yes.
And on this very special pre-Valentine's Day weekend, we are going to talk about QDROs.
Yeah,
We're going to talk about divorcing.
bring the pain.
Yes, and I can't see much with these things on, so we're going to put the cheaters back on here.
And I'm going to continue with my rosy view.
You're
of
going to
quadros.
continue the rose review. So, what do we do on Fridays before we talk about our fun stuff? Who do we talk to?
We get a Washington update.
From Kristina Canada.
Kristina, and we drink
You're
some.
on. What's up?
Has
Well,
Washington been busy?
today we're going to talk about multi-employer plans.
Multi, not multiple.
Right, multi. These are the collectively bargained plans. And those plans that have more retirees than active workers have a funding crisis.
You think?
Yeah. And so the government, the House Ways and Means Committee, is looking at a way to bail them out
Okay.
so that they're not underfunded anymore. Because, if they crash and burn, it's the government that has to make it up to the people.
Well, the PBGC. This is the part of the PBGC that's really bad.
Yeah. So now you might...
And what I mean by really bad is really underfunded.
Underfunded.
Right.
Yeah.
In crisis.
And you might think that a multi-employer plan would have no impact on your average single employer plan. But the House Ways and Means Committee can make it affect every other plan in the country.
Because right now, the single employer side of PBGC is adequately funded, from what I understand,
Right,
right?
right.
They're going to...
It's not the PBGC.
Right, but the House...
The impact of that the House Ways and Means Committee is going to have on all other DC plans and single employer defined benefit plans. And that is, they're going to limit the maximum contribution to a DC plan or limit the maximum benefit under a defined benefit plan and limit the amount of annual compensation that can be used for plan purposes.
How does this help the funding for a multi-employer plan?
It raises funds for the government because you won't have as large of a
Total picture.
yeah, when you can't write off as much on your taxes, so you're going to be paying higher taxes because the limits are lower.
So is this a for sure, or is this
They were
swirling
supposed
around?
to act on it today. Yeah. And it's, they've done this in the past. It took years to recover from it. But, even though they're going to limit the maximum contribution and contribution and benefits, it won't happen until 2030.
Oh, okay.
So you have, what, 8 years?
9 years.
But
to
you
fund-
said this was a specific type of plan, though, or is it for all the plans?
All
plans.
plans.
Okay, because you started off with saying a specific subset.
It's going to affect
Everybody.
How to spread around the one bad apple.
Oh, something like that.
Everybody
And they've
has
done
to
it
take a bite.
before, and
Yeah,
they'll do
well,
it again.
We'll have 8 years of
Driving our
Fund everything you
creative
can.
consulting to come up with a way to get around it.
Yeah,
All right.
fund whatever you can now.
Yeah, all right. Well, thank you for that
glasses.
Washington update. Yeah, can I borrow your glasses?
No,
You're not going to let me have them. All right. So we are going to, on this pre-Valentine's Day special, we are going to continue.
With the good news.
No, we're not. We're talking about divorce. Okay. This is something we're never going to experience, correct?
No, we're not.
This is something, yeah, well, you just say yes, we're not going to. All right.
Does that mean somebody has to die?
No, no.
Just
Yes.
clarifying.
Thank you, Kristina. I thought what we're trying to do with the videos is trying to have a balance between sales ideas and educational ideas. This is not a sales idea, so we're hoping it kind of goes under the category of educational idea. When a participant it doesn't have to be a defined benefit plan, when a participant is in an ERISA covered plan, there are very specific rules when it comes to time for distributions or time for divorce. What do we call the form that we get from the lawyers and the judges that we have to look at?
We call it a DRO because it hasn't been queued yet.
You got darn it! I was hoping you'd get that one wrong. Okay.
Just
Yeah, I know.
for a long time.
I know. All right. You're right. We don't get QDROs. We make things QDROs. We get the domestic relations order.
Well, I mean, the part to walk back really, when there's a divorce, you're splitting up assets, right? And you have
Theoretically.
assets within your retirement plan, right? So they need to be addressed in some ways. And this is how they get addressed.
Right. And because the plan is governed by ERISA, ERISA supersedes a state or local court. Their rules are going to take precedent over whatever the local lawyer or local judge decides on. Sorry, those are the rules. And it's our job as an advocate for the plan sponsor to make sure that all the rules are followed before any money is distributed. All right?
Because mad people getting a divorce are people you want to have your act together on.
Right. They can sometimes be
Don't
rather...
let it spill over.
No, they can sometimes be rather straightforward and quick. And when the owners of the company are the trustees of the plan and are subject to the QDROs, they can take over a year to get sorted out as to exactly what the language should be. That was a fun one. All right.
Yeah, but if they contact us sooner, we can help them with that. So it doesn't quite take
No,
us
they
long.
needed marriage counseling. It was, yeah.
Okay. I'm talking about our role. I'm not talking about society's role and the general role.
Right. So what must a DRO include? The name of the plan, right? The participant's name, the alternate beneficiary's name, and a clear way or clear instructions to determine the value that is going to the alternate beneficiary. And if I haven't made it clear enough now, the alternate beneficiary is the soon-to-be ex-spouse.
Or the children.
I've never seen that one.
Yeah, you can have a domestic relations order for the children.
Okay.
And usually, and then they actually specify a date
Right.
for splitting the funds. And,
That's part of the clear instructions as to how to determine the value. Yes.
and we need social security numbers in order to
Right.
do the
Yeah.
1099s. It is a taxable moment.
And it turns out we're usually missing somebody's name. The instructions as to how to value the account when are unclear, things like that. We need to have this kind of clarity, otherwise it can't be a QDRO.
You mean they can't use nasty old hag?
No, no.
That's the
Or the
Unless-
moment I first started hating you.
Okay, now then, can somebody get divorced without and not have a QDRO?
Yes.
Yes, because actually, maybe one party's just gonna get that and the other
Get the
gets the
house and
house.
somebody else, yeah.
I mean,
right.
in divorces, you decide how you split up the assets. And so maybe that becomes one side and the other becomes that. But if it's gonna happen within the plan,
Right.
gotta have it split up the right
Now
way.
then, if you're going to have, does the plan document have to have language that the alternate payee gets the money out right away?
Yeah, I looked at your notes, yes.
No.
No?
The document doesn't have to have the language.
It doesn't, okay.
No, the document, this can cause some strife.
Well, just because there's a QDRO doesn't mean there's going to be a distribution.
Correct.
And the distribution in best practices is separate from the QDRO moment, because really what you're supposed to do is take the report, divide the money, then go, now what do we do here?
Correct. Now then, the document has to allow for the alternate beneficiary to be able to take their money out prior to our well-used phrase of distributable event, all right? And because
So that means the plan participant doesn't have that option, right?
Right.
Only the alternative payee
right,
does.
alternate beneficiary, right? Alternate payee,
Alternate payees.
Payee, because beneficiary somebody
Right.
died.
Sorry.
That was the other scenario we were
Right.
talking about.
And yeah, so you can have a plan document that has both divorced spouses in it until one of them until the employee quits, or until age 65 or whatever. It can take a while. All right.
So does a plan sponsor, can they write language to force someone out?
Not no, not if the alternate payee's vested account balance is greater than $5,000. They have all the same rights, benefits, privileges as a quote unquote normal participant, and the plan sponsor has to treat them as well as they do everybody else. As far as when we're saying everybody needs a notice, they're everybody. Everybody needs to be communicated.
If they still have a balance in the plan.
Yeah,
Right.
right. If they don't have a balance, they're not a participant.
Right. I know. I'm just.
Well, they really aren't a participant. They're in that
Okay,
special
alternate
category.
payee, but yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. Did that help a little bit?
I'm pretty clear.
Did you learn a little something, Filippo?
Can I ask a question?
Yes.
Sir.
So, as a person who's not familiar with this world, I'm coming from a different side of banking that had nothing to do with,
Yeah.
with like retirement plans and all that. I've always been under the impression that a 401k had no legal, like legally you couldn't touch it if you were getting divorced or getting sued or.
Right. You can't.
Two different things.
Two different things.
Two
Right.
different things.
You can't force, like the ex-spouse can't forcibly take money by court order out of the employee participant's account balance. Actually, a really good question, Filippo. All right.
So
But-
that's why there has to be a quadro. You
Right.
just can't show up and say, "Give me the money."
But it's a two-step process. You have the courts decide how the account balance needs to be split. I don't know where that's allowed in ERISA, but presumably it is because we do it that way.
Well,
Yeah.
it's a domestic relations
right.
thing.
So the account then gets to be split according to these rules, and then ERISA still governs when the ex-spouse, as alternate payee, gets to take the money out.
And that's one set of rules, but then the whole, do you get sued? 401k plans are great
that-
to be in. No, it's just
Right.
a small aside.
Correct.
Because, yeah, it's your retirement money. People can't go after it and sue it. It's
Right.
very,
As long as it stays in the trust.
yeah, and though there is a little caveat that, if you are not paying the IRS, they are the one people who can come in and go, you weren't paying your taxes.
Yeah, I'm
That's
saying-
not right.
No.
That's not right.
I thought it was.
That's not right.
What? I thought there was some
Nope.
kind of,
Nope.
Nope.
Nope. I don't know how we're
Okay.
gonna edit this out. The IRS cannot take money out of a qualified retirement plan.
yeah, but I thought there was something that if, as an employer, if
They
you were
can
screwing things up and not putting money in, that
That's
I will go look.
The
I'm sure you
IRS
guys know things, but
The IRS can't take money, they can entice you to give it to them.
well, that's true.
It's
Yeah.
not the same thing. Yeah, they can't. Even the IRS cannot take money out of a retirement plan.
They have to wait, and they would be waiting.
Now then, when the
Until you have a
person finally
distributable.
does have to take money out,
Yeah.
they can be first in line regardless of anybody else.
They
but
will
the
be.
money has yes, they will be. But the money has to be coming out of the plan. Then they get to stand there first in line and say, "Mine, please."
Yes.
But they can't. Even the
So-
IRS can't get
So is
money
it
out of a
under
plan.
a different set of rules that if you commit fraud, and part of that is making contributions, you can't protect it for doing fraud?
You mean where an
Financial.
employer takes the money and runs?
I'm just
No, they still can't take it out of the plan. The employer already did that. But they can go after every other asset that employer has.
I think she was implying like laundering it through the 401k.
We don't launder through
No,
the
once it's in the
401k.
We
No,
don't
we
launder
don't.
through the
No.
401k.
I know not.
I have uncles.
Okay. So
I know not of this
Okay.
laundry. thing.
I don't know what's staying in the video. I don't know how I'm editing this out.
we can have debate. We can have friendly debates at Hunter Benefits, can't we?
Yes, ma'am.
And shouldn't there be a little bit of?
But bottom line,
a little
the
bit
IRS, no, bottom line, well, yes, but bottom line, the IRS does not get to take money out of a plan, okay? Now then, how much time do we have left, Filippo?
We're at 4 minutes.
Oh, we're almost done already. All right, so we will talk about when spouses need to be involved in getting money out of a plan next week. All right. We doing anything special this weekend? Staying inside because we got another polar vortex outside.
Yeah, it's like 12 below.
Yeah, or it's gonna
Yeah,
feel like it.
lots
so.
of snow.
All right.
Like, yeah,
Thank you very much for spending
really
some time.
Netflix and chill.
Really.
Because it's chill.
Yeah, it's still it's cold outside. Thank you very much for spending some time with us. We hope you found this a little bit of an education. I know we do every time we do this. Thank you very much.
we got
Any
together
other
to talk
questions,
about
Filippo, Kristina?
Nope.
We're good to go? All right.
Like us.
Like us.
Like
share,
us.
subscribe, do everything else. Let everybody know about it. And got any specific questions? sales@hunterbenefits.com. And our website is?
HunterBenefits.com.
Take care. Have a good weekend.